Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. So I had a viewer who had mentioned that her narcissist had talked to people about their weight. I'm not sure if he made fun of them or whatever, but he at least brought it up to people. A lot of times people are insecure about their weight or they're comfortable in themselves. But when you bring it up, they start to feel uncomfortable. So this narcissist was over 300 pounds, and I don't know how tall they were. Usually that's a heavier person. I'm 6'1", and I know somewhere in the 200s or whatever for a man. But I'm going to share a little bit about my story as well and why the narcissist does this. I had my first narcissist was basically, well, he's a state cop, but he was kind of like a bodybuilder. So he was rock solid. Every portion of him was rock solid except his belly. I could stick my finger this deep into his belly button if you want to know the truth. Mine, you really can't. Like, I had the flattest stomach possible. I've just been blessed with that. But he would always comment on my weight. Now, when I met him when I was 17, and I had a lot of broken bones growing up. So also, hormones, things like that. You kind of overeat. I had an older brother, I had to keep up with him. Plus, for energy, I'd come home from school and eat a snack, and then I'd do a paper route. So I justified, like, I burnt these calories. I'm like, way off how many calories I burnt. So like I said, I'm 6'1", so I'm pretty lucky on how I hold the weight. It just goes to my hips and thighs. But so when I met him, I was at a size 13, and I got down to a size 7. And then I got pregnant, and I was pretty lucky in a sense. Got no stretch marks. And my hips were tilted. The baby kind of pushed at the top of my hips. So my hips weren't quite as wide. I was a little bit more proportioned because I'm real thin up top, and like average, or that's where my thickness comes from, is in the bottom half. So I never had any rolls. I was just either larger or smaller. And his body shape had that beer belly, which is outside the norm. I was just either more voluptuous, but he didn't carry his weight as well, which is fine. I never said anything about it. Loved him either way, because he was fit. It's just he drank too much beer, and that his body type. But with him, he always commented. It was really odd because after I had the baby, I had a flat stomach. I was really lucky. And he was like, see that picture right there with you sitting with, our baby? He's like, that's when you look the best, but your thighs are thick. And I'm thinking that's why I stay thin, to balance out my legs, because that's where the weight goes. So then the more weight I gain, the more disproportionate I am. So for me to stay proportionate, I have to stay thin, or it, escalates the disproportion. But he called it out, and he was never happy with whatever weight. I went from a 13 to a 5. He was never happy, no matter what. And so this person had mentioned, that their narcissist does that, and it's hypocritical. It's hypocritical because my body style was more socially acceptable, I guess, or on par to what the healthy body should look like. And he's tearing apart the progress that I made. I looked really good for just having a baby, like really good, to where my sister was, can I just hold the baby? We're at the beach. And I'm like, what? She's like, just let me hold the baby. And I'm like, you want this too much. What? Like, why do you want to hold my, I didn't care, but it was kind of like, what's going on? And she's like, well, I just, I'm a little overweight, and I want people to look at me like, wow, she looks really good for just having a baby, instead of that girl needs to lose weight. So she's kind of trying to hide her insecurities by holding a baby, pretending it was hers. She's not narcissistic, just kind of uncomfortable. We all have these little narcissistic tendencies sometimes to put on a front, but she's not evil, she's not mean. That's the difference. She didn't cut me down. My narcissist wanted to control my image because of the insecurities that they have in their own body. So it's all this mirroring stuff that goes on and projection. So he's unhappy with his weight, so he's nitpicking mine. And he's trying to latch onto what I look like. So when he's presented as a couple, they look like he's lucky, or because a lot of times with the mirroring, narcissists sometimes will they'll go after what they want. So if they want to be physically fit, they might kind of gravitate towards those people, but they'll kind of shy away if it's too uncomfortable for them, where they think they definitely can't pull it off. It's a different mindset where they have to tear you apart. So you can see what's important to them. Image is important to them because he's picking apart my image. And if it's, let's say, money is important to them, they'll pick apart your career or put you down for your career if you're not making that much, or tell you you're a loser for being in social services where you're not getting paid as much, or whatever. And I just wanted to point out the fact that, be happy in who you are. Like, I am very happy in we all have our flaws. There are things I like to work on as far as my body, but when people start hounding you about it, it's because of insecurities in them. They're trying to cause insecurities in you. And that's where it becomes unfair. They're not encouraging you like, oh my gosh, you look really great. Yeah, because I don't know, let's go for a walk, and let's both get in shape together. And they just expect that you can listen to that all the time, and it's different if I said, babe, how do I look today? Or I'm trying to lose weight. I don't know what to do. I'm having all these salads, and then he can be like, you're putting too much cheese and bacon and ranch dressing on it. They handle things in a destructive way. They offer their opinion, when it's kind of not necessary or asked for. We all have our insecurities. We all know what we need to work on, but we don't need them pointed out all the time. Just like if you have acne, oh, you got another pimple today. It's like the person knows, don't make them feel insecure. Or, wow, you've been dressing really nice, except this makes you look fat. It's okay to say it's not as flattering or something like that. But they do it in such a hurtful way, and it's due to their insecurities. And it's the intent on why they're doing it. They're not doing it to help the person. They're doing it to kind of point out their flaws, like saying, I don't accept you as who you are. You got to change it, and it's based on that guy being heavier. Are we going to take diet tips from somebody who struggles with their weight? There are, and that's the thing, there are people who can give advice. They just don't follow it. So sometimes they are knowledgeable, but they don't have the motivation. And that's where they say, like, the 5 people that you're closest to kind of change who you are. They kind of add to your personality. He might struggle with his weight and want to feed off of our energy of motivation, but when you put it in a negative way, it causes a reverse effect. It causes depression and insecurity in the person. And if you want them to lose weight, encourage them instead of point out their flaws, because it has a reverse effect. Causes a person to overeat, to get depressed and lazy, just because they're sad, and they're changing us into them in every aspect, whether it's our mind, that they're changing us into having to survive with by creating our own narcissistic tendencies. You know, for us not to feel insecure, do we stand up and do that reactive abuse where we're calling them fat, and it's like, I would never say that to somebody. And that's where it starts to get toxic within us. It's how it changes us. You know, you can handle it for a little bit, like, okay, you know, whatever. Yeah, my thighs were thick in that picture. You know, I wish you would have just said, I look great. And it's just a weird way that they treat us. And it's fine. You have a better body than me? Go right on ahead. Tell me what's wrong. In a nice way, you know, like, let's go work out together, things like that. But the narcissist just tears you down when it's not something that they have, you know. It's different if they have it. It's different if they have it. Don't tell me I'm a loser because I live in a 1,400 square foot townhouse and you live in a tent. You know, I'm trying the best I can. And it's different if somebody has certain things. Like, why are you cutting me down when I've done better, in a sense? It's just mentally damaging. And the frustrating part is when they're judgmental on things that they shouldn't be judgmental on. They point out things that they don't achieve. It's different if you've achieved it, whether it's weight loss or, you know, give me some guidance on how to exceed in my career. But if you have a lemonade stand and you're going to say, you know, that I should be the president instead of the vice president, and I'm smarter than that, why don't I try harder? And it's like, I'm doing the best I can. You know, I know if I want to proceed further in my career, if I'm content, that's up to me. If I'm happy with the money I'm making, if I'm happy with my status or whatever, but the little seeds of doubt, you know, or, you know, or they'll like, you think you're so smart. Well, you can't get the president position. You just got the VP. And then you're like, man, you know, is that why I don't have it? Because I try my best. And maybe they're right. It starts giving us seeds of doubt about who we are. And it's just toxic, but it's a double standard. That's a frustrating part. If it's same standard, yeah, you know, same standard, tell me what I'm doing wrong. But double standards, it kind of makes you question, like, what's really going on? And when it's about the weight, love people for who they are. Encourage them instead of discourage them. Pointing out flaws is the worst thing to do. Point out the positives. You know, he could have just said, you look so much better than when I first met you. Something like that. And then you get like an energy and a happiness and a contentment, and it all falls into place. So there's ways to handle things. The narcissist does it the wrong way. So love yourself for who you are. Don't listen to them. That's where we have to be strong in ourselves. To just know who we are, and just like water on the duck's back, just let it roll off. Be confident in yourself. And that's where the narcissist does it, is they tear down our self-esteem. And it's so hard being strong day after day when you just want to live your life and be happy in who you are. The narcissist starts to make us feel uncomfortable in our own skin. And you don't deserve that. So thank you for that viewer topic, and more topics are definitely welcome. And I'll see you in the next video. One-on-ones are available. Please like and subscribe. See you soon.